Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Spring is just a week away, but you wouldn't know it looking from the radar. How many headaches are we going to encounter just on the drive home tonight?
And these guys know what they're doing. Detroit police sounding the alarm tonight after a string of connected smash and grabs.
But first, Kettering University in Flint cancels classes after racist graffiti is found scrawled on walls there. And now the targets of those hateful messages are speaking out. Good to have you with us for Local 4 News at 5. Today, the school's president made the call to shut the school down for the day, saying he is deeply upset over this.
The messages, which we are not showing, have sent shockwaves throughout the tight-knit community and have federal agencies investigating. Our Rod Maloney is on campus in Flint tonight with more. Rod?
Highly disruptive, this case of racist graffiti. The school closed down. A university president comes from a couple of thousand miles away to try and address the problem. The handwritten graffiti, both vulgar and racist, first appeared last Thursday night in Thompson Hall bathrooms, in the stalls and on the shower walls. One of the women targeted, who does not want to be identified, couldn't believe her eyes when a friend pointed it out.
Really confused, I'm a little scared, just because I didn't know who would have done it and why they would have done it.
Two women's names appeared. The other, equally uninterested in publicity, is also surprised and disappointed.
When I first saw it, I was a little startled as to why my name was on it. Like, why was I being targeted?
And that's the same question university and Flint police are asking while they look for the culprit. The university's president made it clear Kettering will not tolerate this kind of intolerance. The women say they did not see this kind of incident coming at all.
I've never gotten that vibe from anyone here. I mean, this campus, this is the first time I've experienced something like that here, because people are very welcoming, they're very friendly. So this is all a surprise.
Campus safety has definitely been, working with us as students and trying to protect us. So the university is doing right by this situation.
As for what should happen if and when police find the culprit?
Just find out who it is, I'm not too concerned about jail time or anything like that. Just figuring out who done it, who did it, why.
Now, the hope is that they can get the campus life to return to normal tomorrow. They still want to find whoever it was that did this and indeed why. There was supposed to be a convocation today that students and teachers were supposed to attend in a mandatory event. That ended up being canceled. The expectation is that they'll continue that sometime in the days to come. Back to you.
It has to be scary for both these women. So, Rod, you spoke with them. Hopefully this incident isn't giving them a reason to want to leave Kettering, is it?
Yeah, that's what they said, that they like it at the school. Mm-hmm. They have done well at the school. They think that the university is a good place and that they're surprised by this. At the same time, they're not thinking of leaving in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, okay. Rod, keep us posted. Devin.
A man is found shot to death on Detroit's west side. Police were called to the scene of a vacant lot on Vaughn Road in the area of Evergreen in Chicago. This was just before 12:30 this afternoon. Police believe the victim is a man in his 30s, but right now, no other information is being released. We'll stay on it.
All right, from the looks of it, we're in the midst of a repeat performance from yesterday.
And the day before that.
And the day before that.
We got bands of snow moving through as we speak. Ben?
Dare we say this will be the last evening commute we have to deal with this for the rest of the week. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that holds true, but it's just enough out there to sort of lull you to sleep. Most of this snow is just a nuisance, but there are pockets where the intensity is starting to increase. That's where we think visibilities are going to drop significantly in short distances on the roadways. And of course, we've all been too familiar with that here over the last couple of days. This is also the area that's under a winter weather advisory, at least until 8 o'clock. They've already seen 2 to 4 inches on the ground up there in some spots. Could add an additional inch from these snow showers this evening. A couple more intense ones showing up in our south zone, and look how quickly those things pop up as they move off to the south. So we'll be watching this through the at least evening hours. It's probably going to be at midnight before these finally dry out completely. Temperatures start falling below freezing as the sun goes down, so could have some icy spots to worry about tonight. More on improving conditions coming up in a few minutes. Devin?
Ben, it has been a pretty bumpy go of it over the last 14 months for Rex Tillerson, and today he is out as Secretary of State, fired by President Trump, who then nominated CIA Director Mike Pompeo to replace him. Blaine Alexander shows us it's another cabinet shakeup at the highest level, but there could be more on the way. Blaine?
Well, Devin, all of this really started last summer. That's when Tillerson reportedly called his boss, the president, a moron. Well, today sources tell NBC News that President Trump never really got over that, and that only made all of their other disagreements that much worse. President Trump announcing a major cabinet shakeup, firing his Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson.
Rex and I have been talking about this for a long time. We got along actually quite well, but we disagreed on things.
Tillerson, addressing reporters at the State Department today, took no questions, showering thanks on his colleagues, but notably not President Trump.
I close by thanking all for the privilege of serving beside you for the last 14 months.
White House officials tell NBC News Chief of Staff John Kelly called Tillerson over the weekend to break the news while the secretary was touring Africa. But the president's Twitter announcement today reportedly caught Tillerson off guard. The move sudden, but not unexpected after months of tension between the two. Last summer, NBC News reported a frustrated Tillerson called the president a moron.
I'll now return to private life as a private citizen, as a proud American.
I think Rex will be much happier now.
Tapped to replace him, CIA Director and former Congressman Mike Pompeo. Deputy Director Gina Haspel nominated to take his place, if confirmed, the first woman to ever lead the CIA. On Capitol Hill, many lawmakers surprised by the news.
The constant change indicates a lack of stability.
But more changes possibly in the works. President Trump telling reporters this morning he is close to getting the cabinet he wants. And Tillerson is now turning over the running of his State Department to his deputy secretary. Effective today, Tillerson will officially stay on until the end of the month. In Washington, Blaine Alexander, Local 4.
All right, Blaine, and that wasn't the only White House departure today. The president's personal aide, John McEntee, was fired today and is now under investigation for what we're told are serious financial crimes. His security clearance said to be in limbo for some time. McEntee, though, is not unemployed now. He is now taking a job immediately with the president's re-election campaign.
All right, this information just into the Local 4 newsroom. Palmer Park Academy is closed again tomorrow as the school addresses health concerns in the building caused by water damage. We first told you about this yesterday. Staff had a meeting today with District Superintendent Nikolai Vitti. They decided the best option is to relocate students to other Detroit schools for the remainder of the year. The district will present a plan to parents tomorrow night during a meeting at the academy. That meeting is scheduled for 5:30 p.m. We'll keep you posted on what happens.
The first case of measles in Michigan this year has been confirmed.
Yeah, the case actually stems from exposure during international travel. The individual carrying the virus was contagious when they arrived at Metro Airport on March 6th before visiting an urgent care center and a hospital emergency room in Washtenaw County. Because measles is highly contagious, healthcare providers and public health personnel should be watchful for possible additional cases. Well, there are brand new details in a smash and grab robbery overnight on Detroit's west side.
Police say the van used to slam through the wall of Mark's liquor store on Tireman was stolen in a robbery last week where dozens of police uniforms were also swiped. Larry Spruill just talked with investigators. Any idea who these guys are yet, Larry?
Well, Devin, police believe that the suspects involved in today's smash and grab may be connected to a string of robberies previously, and they want the suspects involved in all of these smash and grabs to know that they're onto them.
Broken cement and this large hole in the wall is what the owner of Mark's liquor store saw earlier Tuesday morning when he arrived to work.
I'm sick and tired of all these store owners go through, and it's unfair to us.
Steve tells me he's fed up, and honestly, can you blame him? This is not the first time someone tried to break into the store.
I've had 20, 30 break-ins in here. Every other year, there's only break in here. They took a bunch of liquors, lottery tickets. I mean, I haven't been inside yet. They took registers. They took all kind of stuff.
Police say the suspects used this van to drive into the store and break in, and may be connected to other break-ins in this area, including one involving stealing police uniforms.
Smash and grab that occurred this morning, they actually utilized one of the vans from Perfect Cleaners to commit that.
Meanwhile, Steve tells me Tuesday's robbery was caught on security cameras, and he's hoping police will arrest those behind the string of break-ins soon.
And police believe there are 3 groups that are behind these smash and grabs. And the good news is that they have at least 2 suspects behind bars tonight. If you know anything, you're asked to call police. We're live in downtown Detroit tonight at police headquarters. Larry Sproul, Local 4.
Larry, any security video for police here to look at?
Well, Devin, while we were at the store earlier today, there were officers there as well trying to take a look at that surveillance video. They are going through that footage right now.
All right, Larry. Other news at this hour, all municipal golf courses in the city of Detroit are going to close after their existing contracts expire.
City Council voted today to not approve a contract with a vendor to operate and manage the locations. This comes after the Office of Contracting and Procurement led a 6-month process to select a qualified vendor. Chandler Park Golf Course, Rackham Golf Course, and Rouge Park are all affected. They will close March 22nd.
There is a big plan push tonight to overhaul another of Detroit's decaying golf courses that's been closed for years. We're going to show you what the city plans to do that will help neighbors in 2 specific ways. That's coming up at 5:30. And we are just getting started on this Tuesday afternoon.
Much more ahead in this next hour, including a Michigan sheriff admitting he made an unthinkable mistake with a gun, and how a man plans to binge watch the NCAA tournament to raise money for charity.
Also, the unintended consequences of social media. Why the drive to get more likes could be driving kids into depression. Nick?
An unfortunate situation here at this speedway a week ago. A carjacking happens in the parking lot, but it's not just a carjacking because the police get involved chasing this guy out of here. He is caught, and wait until you see this dash cam video.
Tonight, new at 6.
Credit card controversy. Trouble is brewing in Macomb County, and once again, County Clerk Karen Spranger finds herself in the middle.
And moments before takeoff, passengers on a flight find themselves in a life or death situation, but their quick thinking saved a man's life. That's at 6.
A wild and strange police chase in East Point was all caught on camera. It all started as a carjacking, with the carjacker being doused with hot coffee. But as Nick Monticelli shows us, that didn't stop him from taking police on a wild and dangerous ride.
This happened exactly 1 week ago today. The victim coming out of this speedway here at 9 Mile and 94 walks out. There's a man that comes around the corner with a gun trying to carjack her. And instead of being carjacked, she throws her hot coffee on him. But then he still takes off in her car, and that is when the police chase starts.
It sounds like it wasn't carjacking. He was armed with a black handgun.
The East Point Police Department wasted no time jumping right in and catching up to this red Dodge Magnum. And the man accused of the carjacking, 26-year-old Willie Lee.
Okay, he's making a flip around back to go southbound.
The first patrol car got behind the Magnum, moves in slowly, but that's when the carjacker goes through his first of many red lights. Watch carefully as the driver goes onto the median trying to avoid what is now the lead patrol car in this chase. You can barely see the side of the stolen car on the left side of your screen as it almost sideswipes the cruiser. Then the driver decides to drive all the way across the median on 8 Mile, now going eastbound on 8 Mile, blowing through every red light there is. And now southbound on Kelly, driving erratically, forcing vehicles out of the way. Moments later, he makes a right turn, then immediately left into a neighborhood, and this is where it gets extremely dangerous. He is now speeding down residential streets, pushing cars off to the side. Finally, the carjacker strangely rolls into a driveway, behind a garage, into a brush area, and makes a run for it.
He's barely.
Harper Woods and East Point police were able to catch him not too long afterwards. Lee is charged with 5 felony counts, including carjacking, fleeing and eluding, and more. Police also think he may be connected to other carjackings or robberies. In East Point, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
And Lee is being held without bond. He'll be back in court next week.
Tell me anything different than what you got. What you got? Any?
I do. I mean,
any good news?
Sure. How about hail? Let's try that even.
You frogs? You want to go that route? We'll go over the whole list.
Any plague?
No, it does get much better starting tomorrow.
All righty.
But not for the rest of the evening. We've still got this problem to go again, and this map looks familiar. In fact, a lot of the graphics we did for this show didn't have to really be fixed from yesterday because it's pretty much the same thing. We do see snow showers across most of the area right now. As you look up to the north, though, from the thumb north, there is not a whole lot going on there, so that is good news, but still some of those heavier snow showers, especially in the thumb. And even though the big swirl is out here on the east coast, what we're looking at right now, the upper level low, is pretty much sitting in the bowl of Lake Huron there, so it's just sitting and spinning those snow showers into the southern end of the state. As the sun goes down, a lot of these are going to lose their energy, and then we start talking about temperatures. Right now we're at 33 degrees, but the sort of middle of this trough arcs down from the UP through Chicago and then down to the Appalachians. So as that starts moving to the east, we're actually going to see our coldest temperatures of the month tonight, believe it or not, with a lot of us going into the teens for lows. And as far as the snow goes, we'll see that end once we get past midnight. At 11 o'clock, there's probably still going to be some snow showers going in the thumb. The rest of us are going to be dry. And then overnight, everybody gets rid of the snow. And that's it for the upcoming 10-day forecast. Sunshine comes out tomorrow. It's going to take a while to warm these temperatures back up to average. The one exception to that snow-free forecast is going to be on Thursday, and you can see that. That's 1 a.m. This is late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. Maybe just a couple snow showers roll through in the overnight. Not going to leave any footprints behind, no accumulation expected, so a lot of us not even going to notice that it was here. High pressure regains its hold on the area as we get into Friday, and that means more sunshine and even warmer temperatures for the weekend. But lows tonight, as we mentioned, probably the coldest of the month. In the city, we're looking at 22. Officially, we'll be at 20 degrees at the airport, but there are going to be a lot of teens out there for lows tonight. Lenawee County, one of those spots, 19 there in Onstead. Milan, you'll be at 19 to late tonight, early tomorrow morning. West Zone, teens on the other side of 275, all the way up to Flint from Manchester. 19 will be the magic number. North Zone, some of these areas may be a little bit milder as those snow showers and clouds hold on a little bit longer up here in Sanilac County. Otherwise, Lapeer and most of St. Clair County, and then teens for lows tonight. High temperatures tomorrow, 37. That is still woefully below average for this time in mid-March. We should be into the mid-40s, and we're not going to get there until the weekend, but plenty of sunshine to go along with it. There's the start of spring that Kimberly has been hailing for the
6 days, 18 hours, 56 minutes, and 33 seconds.
Exactly. You want to be very precise about that. 12:15 if you're counting on.
You're like Siri, man.
That's
I mean,
right.
you just got that at recall, I know. Jamie?
We're all going to be watching the basketball tournament anyway. One local dad is using it for good.
I just thought, how can I give back? How can I help this place that has meant so much to my family?
He's calling it March Hoops to Beat Blindness, and he has a personal connection.
Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. Our kids use social media a lot.
I'd say I check Instagram like maybe 15 times a day.
How the likes on social media posts really influences them. What researchers discover that can help you.
Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Teenagers spend an awful lot of time keeping up with their friends online these days, reading comments, posting photos.
And that time online can have a real impact. Our Karen Drew is here with how the likes on social media posts can really influence teens.
It really is having an impact, Devin and Kim. Everyone wants their post to be liked, but what happens to teenagers when they see that? New research suggests that the simple act of liking a friend's social media post may create a form of virtual peer influence.
There's one of you and Eric.
When your teen's head is buried in a smartphone, wonder what's got his or her attention?
I mostly use Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook.
Instagram, I'm on like a lot, like really frequently.
Oh, look, he's cute too. Sites like Instagram allow users to post and share photos, leave comments, and like what they're seeing.
You're scrolling through someone's feed and you just double tap and it's like a little heart that shows up.
What do all those hours of scrolling, tapping, and liking do to teens' brains? Lauren Sherman is a cognitive neuroscientist. Sherman and her colleagues studied the brain activity of 32 teenagers, ages 13 to 18. Teens submitted personal photos. Then they were placed in an MRI machine and viewed an Instagram-like app. During the session, teens could see the number of likes displayed on each photo. After the session, scientists analyzed the teens' brain scans and saw activity in the reward center of the brain.
That brain region became more active when teens saw that other kids' photos had a lot of likes, and particularly when they saw that they got a lot of likes on their own photos.
When you post something and it gets a lot of likes, it's kind of like a good feeling, like people are like patting you on the back, maybe, I don't know.
This suggests that over time, likes could be changing the way that people interact with their online worlds.
Sherman says the study suggests teens may be influenced by a large network of peers online. Some may be kids that parents haven't met. She says parents should get comfortable with social media so they can keep the lines of communication open.
Sherman says it's common for parents to talk to a teen about peer pressure when they're face-to-face with their friends. She says that conversation might need to shift to include information about what social media likes might do to your positive or negative behavior and how you feel about yourself.
Incredible.
It's just more formalized now. Remember Sally Field? You like me. You really like me.
You really like me.
It's the same thing. It's just now it's done digitally. I know. Back with more in just a second.
New at 5:30.
It only takes a moment for a child to choke on something that they were not supposed to have. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Coming up, the items that are most often to blame and the action that you need to take fast to save their life.
Not again. The third massive winter storm in 2 weeks pummels the East Coast.
There are plans to turn this former golf course into public land that could benefit both the city and the community. I'm Larry Sproul. I'll tell you what those plans are and what's next.
From decay to a destination, there's a brand new plan in the works to revitalize this old, overgrown golf course into a place everyone can enjoy. 2013 was when the last round of golf was played at the Rogel Golf Course.
Since then, the course's owner, Greater Grace Temple, has seen redevelopment plans fall through, but now the city wants to step in. Larry Sproul shows us the grand plan the city has, it thinks will make people very happy.
Guys, this golf course was thriving back in the day, but over time it turned into this. But now there are plans to revitalize this area to benefit both the city and the community.
A new park here that's for an active program park for the neighborhood that will connect to, again, some of the natural features.
Those are just some of the plans Arthur Jemison with the Housing and Revitalization Department says are in the making for the former Rogel Golf Course. This area of land is about 120 acres and sits in northwest Detroit, right at the southwest corner of the intersection of Lasher and 7 Mile Road. The golf course was closed in 2013 and was later bought by the Greater Temple Church just around the corner.
We thought it would be a cemetery, a nice memorial park, but sometimes waiting is worth the wait.
Tuesday, both Bishop Charles Ellis and the Housing and Revitalization Department met at the land announcing possible plans for the land. They recently submitted a request to City Council to purchase the land for $1.94 million. It's a deal Jemison says will benefit both the city and neighborhood.
This acquisition and the development that will come later are going to enable all those things and be a key part of the Northwest Grand River Plan coming to fruition.
Jemison tells me another opportunity for the land is to implement green stormwater infrastructure to utilize stormwater and cut down on flooding in this neighborhood.
All right, so here's what's next. City Council will have to vote on this plan. If that plan is approved, then the development plan will be finalized. Reporting live tonight, Larry Sproul, Local 4.
Yeah, still a lot of ifs, Larry, but if these all go through, is there a building timeline when council makes a decision?
Yeah, Jason, well, Jemison tells me if everything goes as planned, they will start building on the site by the end of the next quarter.
Been a long time. We'll be keeping an eye on it. All right, Larry, thanks.
Hopefully this will be one of the last few times we'll say, hey, if you're waiting for someone to come home from work, they might be a little late.
Hopefully, yes.
Because of snow.
That's what the forecast says.
Right.
Mother Nature has had other plans in days past, but that's the way things are looking. But tonight is still going to be a little bit of a challenge out on the roads because even though most of the stuff is flurries and light snow, every so often you're going to see one of these embedded snow showers that are going to be showing a little bit more intense snow coverage than what we've seen in other spots. Now, as far as what we've got coming later on tonight, well, these snow showers are going to be around until about midnight tonight, and that's when we'll finally start to see all these snow showers taper off. Until then, the roadways are going to be a little bit tough, especially in some of these areas that are up here around Sand Lake, St. Clair counties. The other area that we're watching is down here south of Adrian. Very intense snow shower heading down towards the state line. So again, it's not going to last very long, but that thing could be really dropping visibilities to a quarter mile or even less. Of course, we've had our challenges here on this side of the state. It's definitely been a little bit something else for the folks in New England. 3 times, not the charm. It's a triple whammy now with the latest nor'easter slamming into that region. Back to back to back.
This is, I think, our third nor'easter in 10 days.
New England hammered by yet another winter weather wallop.
The conditions are difficult, if not treacherous in some spots.
An estimated 50 million people are in the path of this third storm. A blizzard bringing heavy winds and storm surge along the coast of Massachusetts, with some areas expecting up to 2 feet of heavy wet snow.
The forecast calls for the heavy snow we've been seeing for the past few hours to fall about 1 to 3 inches per hour for most of the rest of today, ending late afternoon.
Mother Nature bringing more misery just as millions were getting back to normal.
There were people that just got their power back.
The heavy snow pulling down power lines in Massachusetts and pushing the total number of homes without power to more than 150,000 by early Tuesday. Travel proving treacherous in many places, or canceled altogether at many airports across the eastern seaboard. Another brutal round.
Hopefully it's it.
In a region where many are ready for a springtime thaw. And yeah, 3 times in a row up there. And even though we've had our share of snow, we really haven't had anything compared to what they've gone
And when
through.
it comes so late, it's just so frustrating.
You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel's not there.
They're never
really far
going
away.
to forget this march, that's
Nope,
for sure.
that's true.
All right, Ben. In other news, a bus taking a Texas marching band home from their Disney vacation crashed into a 50-foot ravine near the Florida-Alabama border.
The driver was the only one who died. However, all passengers on the bus were taken to the hospital as a precaution. The crash happened when the bus began driving on the grassy median. That median ends abruptly when the freeway crosses over a creek. Investigators are trying to figure out what caused the driver to start driving on the median.
We'll be looking to find out what witnesses can tell us, what the passengers can tell us, whether sleep was involved, fatigue was involved, whether medical.
More than 45 passengers were on the bus. Among the injured, 5 people are listed in serious condition right now, and 1 is in critical. An investigation in England continues as the poisoning of a former Russian spy and his daughter remains quite the mystery.
Yeah, Sergei Skripal and his daughter were found slumped over a bench in Salisbury, poisoned by a nerve agent. It's been more than a week since this happened and still no answers as to why. So far, Russia has denied having anything to do with it, and the European Union has come out and said it will stand by Britain. More answers are expected, though, within the next 24 hours. The polls are open and both candidates voted this morning in a special election in Pennsylvania for a seat in the U.S. House. The seat's vacant after former GOP Congressman Tim Murphy resigned in October following a scandal involving a staffer. The Democratic candidate, Conor Lamb, says he wants to keep the race about where he and his opponent stand on the issues. His opponent, Republican Rick Ciccone, is a state rep who has the backing of the president who stumped for him there last week. Across Michigan tonight, we're following stories from Seville Township and Saginaw.
But let's start in Shepherd tonight. That's where authorities say a weapon found in a gym locker at Shepherd Middle School was accidentally left there by an off-duty county sheriff. Sheriff Michael Main accidentally left his backup firearm in the school locker room while he was there for an event over the weekend. He says he used the locker room to change from his casual clothes to his police uniform. The gun was found by a student who immediately contacted a teacher, and a mass phone message was sent to Shepherd Public Schools parents.
Staying in Gratiot County in Seville Township, where authorities are working to identify the body of a man found by hunters. He was found in a large plastic bag in a ditch Sunday. An autopsy showed the man was about 60 to 70 years old and has distinctive tattoos, including one of an eagle on his right shoulder and another one of a skull wearing a cowboy hat on his left shoulder.
And in Saginaw, a teenager makes claims against a Michigan priest charged with sex crimes.
The lawsuit's filed against 71-year-old Reverend Robert DeLand. The teen claims he fondled him, gave him money, and asked him if he wanted to do drugs. The lawsuit says the boy met DeLand last May at a funeral, and he later invited the teen to perform community service at St. Agnes Church. That's in Freeland. He says he called or texted him at least 17 times a day. DeLand has pleaded not guilty. In good health tonight, choking is a leading cause of injury or death among children, especially for those under the age of 4.
It really is frightening.
It's terrifying.
On average, one child will die from choking every 5 days in the U.S. Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with some surprising facts about children and choking we all need to know about.
Well, Karen and Jason, you know, toy manufacturers, of course, are required to put warning labels on things with small parts that could pose a choking risk in young infants and children. And that partly explains why certain foods and everyday objects like coins pose an even larger hazard. They don't come with warnings. The majority of choking-related incidents among children are associated with either food, coins, or toys. Because of their shape, size, and consistency, some objects are more hazardous than others. Parents should avoid letting their child have access to small, non-food objects that could be choking hazards. It's also important to never feed a baby something large that can be swallowed whole, like a grape, hot dog, or popcorn. Take special care to cut hot dogs and grapes so they're less likely to completely block the air passage. Identifying a choking child is difficult since they can't talk or do the universal choking sign.
It is important to first recognize those signs of choking, which would be that your child cannot breathe, make a sound, or cough.
If an infant begins choking, abdominal thrusts aren't recommended. However, they can be used in children over the age of 1. For infants, parents should give a series of back blows and chest compressions first, followed by infant CPR if needed. Also, don't stick your finger in a baby's mouth to try and remove an object.
It's important for parents to understand that if they do see that foreign body, that they do not perform a finger sweep in the mouth to pull that foreign body out, because they could actually be pushing that foreign body back into the back of the throat.
Now finally, be especially aware when you have children that are a different age. That well-meaning older sibling, well, they might want to share their food or toys with a younger child, which of course puts them at a choking risk.
And it's good you point this out. I mean, admittedly, I was guilty of trying to swipe it out of the back of the throat.
Yeah, the risk is more often than not, people tend to push it in farther and jam it down. The best thing to do is basically to continue to shake them and get them to spit it out.
Because it's a terrifying moment.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doc.
Still to come on Tuesday, a massive fire leaves an entire neighborhood scrambling for safety.
New tonight, why it wasn't the flames, but rather what was burning that made this situation so dangerous.
And maybe it's just how much money can buy happiness. New tonight, what the experts say you need to make per year in order to be happy. Hey, Jamie.
So this father-son duo, big Michigan fans, I would say, right?
Go Blue!
They've got the basketball ready. They're ready to watch the games, but it's also for a great cause. Their story next.
All right, thanks, Jamie. And it is a huge night here on Local 4 at 9. Just can't miss the season finale of This Is Us. Then at 10, it's the show getting broad praise from critics. Be sure to watch the series premiere of the new show, Rise. Then join us right back here for Local 4 News at 11.
A local student.
New at 6.
Closer to justice. Progress is being made on the more than 11,000 rape kits found in an abandoned Detroit police facility nearly a decade ago. But that's not the end of the road. For investigators, how the number of serial rapists could rise past 800.
And ER visits for children with allergies are on the rise, but that's not a bad thing. We'll explain.
All right, how's this for a pretty cool idea? Local dad planning to binge watch every game of the first rounds of the NCAA tournament.
Can I join you? And here's the cool part. It's not just because he loves basketball. Very special reason. Jamie Edmonds shows us how he's doing this while raising money for charity at the same time.
So right now, middle of the day, what do we have on TV? Golf? Come Thursday, it will be all basketball all the time, and this father-son duo will be taking it all in. Myron Hepner and his son Brendan plan to plant themselves right here at Pizza House in Ann Arbor on Thursday and Friday to watch the first few days of the NCAA tournament together. 32 games in all.
For him, easily 26 hours or more.
Oh my God,
Yep.
watching basketball.
That's right, yes.
That's a lot of basketball and a lot of time, but in this case, it's for a good cause, all inspired by Brendan's journey.
So when Brendan was 9 months old, we started noticing a white glossiness in his eye. And we didn't know what it was, and so we went to the Kellogg Eye Center, and they diagnosed him with retinoblastoma, which is a dangerous form of eye cancer.
Doctors removed Brendan's eye. Now at 15, Brendan is cancer-free. As Dad sees it, those Michigan doctors gave his son the gift of life, and he thought, how could he return the favor? Well, by using his eyes for good. He calls it March Hoops to beat blindness. All donations go directly to research. In 12 years, he's raised more than $80,000.
I'm just proud of him. It sounds weird to say that, but yeah, I'm proud of him for making a fantastic idea come to life.
For these basketball fans, it won't be that difficult to stay focused, especially if the Wolverines can make a run.
Yeah, go blue. Yeah, that's right.
So if you want to help the cause, you can come down to Pizza House right here in Ann Arbor. 15% of your bill, takeout or dine in, will go to the cause. There's also some cool prizes like this John Beeline basketball. In Ann Arbor, Jamie Edmonds, Local 4.
Love what they're doing.
Fun event, yeah.
By the way, do you have your bracket ready? If you perhaps can beat the Local 4 morning show, you can win prizes throughout the tournament. It's easy to play. Just head to clickondetroit.com/bracket to make your picks.
That should be pretty easy to. Well, I don't know. DiGiulio is pretty shrewd when it comes to college basketball.